Good morning. This is Shawn Sandridge. Thank you so much for clicking back onto my channel. Thank you for my new subscribers and my day ones. You know how much I love you. So just go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, share, tell a friend about me. You know I'm on my campaign to reach 1,000 subscribers and I need your help. So if you like my content, you like the things that I've been talking about, please let somebody know about me so we can build my channel. So I am on my way to the airport to pick up my baby sister at O'Hare, and it's a pretty decent drive. It's about between an hour and 15 and an hour and 25 minutes from where I live, and that is not counting any traffic, but it's early in the morning. I've actually been up since sorry for the shaking, but I've been up since about 3:45, and I didn't go to bed until midnight, so it's gonna be a long day. My friend Tammy, my trainer friend Tammy, she moved away during the holidays. She moved away to Iowa, her and her husband, in December, so she's actually in town as well. So we're gonna meet up for lunch. I'm hoping to take a power nap and so I can get through this day. I still have to work. It's payroll for me, so I have to do payroll. But I'm excited about this next couple of days. My sister's here until Sunday. I drop her off on Sunday. So I'm gonna get some videos up. I rewatched the next episode of Dead North. If you have not seen the episode yet, check out the ID channel on Dead North. I've already reviewed the first episode. It's actually like 2 hours, but it's broken down into episodes. So it's a lot easier because then I can give you more content about it. And a lot of people ask me, why am I so obsessed with crime shows? I've been obsessed with crime shows since I was a little girl. Like, the first real big book I ever read was Cradle to Grave, and it was about this mom that was killing her babies. And I believe she killed 7 of her babies, and everyone thought that she was just this woman with bad luck and, you know, had some genetic problems, all her babies dying from SIDS. I believe it was in the 1940s or 50s. The nurses didn't trust her. You know, when the babies were in the hospital, they were fine. When they would get home, you know, they didn't make it. And really the only thing that tipped people off that she probably had a problem, that she was actually killing her babies, was when her adopted child died. And I believe the little boy was like 2 years old, which is well past the time of vulnerability for a baby to die of SIDS. So that was one book. And then another book, I can't remember the title of it, but it took place in the 70s. And this young girl, she was 17 years old. Back in the 70s, it was not uncommon for teenagers and young adults to get from place to place by hitchhiking. You know, hitchhiking was a young person's mode of travel. And this 17-year-old girl who had apprehensions, but she got in a car of a couple, and what ended up happening is that she was sexually tortured and held captive, I believe for 7 years. And the wife was also abused, but by the time they picked up the girl, the husband decided that his desires and his fetishes had been outgrown with the wife, so he took on other girls. And what made this story so intriguing was that he tortured her, the young girl, for a long time and held her in this makeshift coffin which, really was tiny. And then several years later, she was so conditioned because he told her, and she was 17 and very impressionable. We are talking about the 70s. She believed by what he told her that he was from a secret society and he has soldiers and agents out and about, that they all know who she is and they all know who her family members are, and should she ever want to run away, they would kill her family members. And so after the sexual assault and the sexual torture, he played mind games on her. And then after a while, he was able to have her captive, even though he didn't hold her captive anymore. Like, she was able to go out, garden, shop. He even let her go home and see her family, write letters, and the family there were no red flags from the family that she had problems. And the gentleman was a much older gentleman. So what ended up happening on that case was that the wife and the captive girl just decided one day when he had left the house that they were going to make a run for it. And then that ended up, talking about the case and prosecuting the husband. So as a little girl, and of course you know all about the serial killers, but the serial killers are really on the bell curve of the spectrum of criminal minds.
Stay in the left 4 lanes.
They are on the real extreme side of criminals. I've always been intrigued with what makes people do what they do. I'm not so much, obviously there's this underbelly of evil with the crimes that are committed, but I'm always fascinated by what makes a person do what they end up doing and seemingly can blend in with society. So case in point, I wanted to talk about it before, but this is a good time to talk about it. In April of this year, Google it. In April of this year, there was a 56-year-old woman who lived in a rural part of Minnesota. Google gambling grandma. She was also called Loser Lois. But if you Google gambling grandma will show up, and gambling grandma killer. It was a 56-year-old middle-aged woman, white-haired, overweight. She looks like any woman that you would work with, a co-worker, a neighbor. She looks like someone that would work at a, Walmart. She looks like an average 50-something-year-old lady. She lives in Minnesota. Her husband owned a worm farm. The details are not clear, but she kills her husband and she takes $20,000 and flees. He's found several days later. The woman is gone. Find out that this woman has a gambling addiction. She's later found in Florida. She's at a restaurant bar type of place. In Florida they have these restaurant bar places kind of open. And on camera you see her befriending a woman. What ends up happening is that, I believe it was in Fort Myers, Florida. What ends up happening is she befriends this woman. Unbeknownst to the woman, she's on vacation. And gambling grandma has sized her up that she would be in body and similar facial features would be a woman that she could steal her identity. So she befriends this woman who, by the way, wasn't even supposed to be in Florida that day when they met. The sister says that she extended her vacation, but her vacation had ended the day before. So she has this encounter with the gambling grandma. The gambling grandma kills her, steals her wallet, takes her car, goes on the run, and takes out $5,000 in credit card advances. I kid you not. One of the problems, it became a nationwide story all over the big news, ABC, NBC, all Today Show, Good Morning America, looking for the gambling grandma. Part of the problem that they said was she's average looking. There's nothing about her that stands out. She can blend in, and part of her averageness is what makes her elusive to police. And plus, would anyone think that a 50-something-year-old white-haired lady who's pleasant
In 2 miles, keep left onto I-294 north toward Wisconsin.
Do you really think she's a killer? So she was on the run, and they found her in Texas and arrested her. I haven't heard anything else about what has happened, why she did it. You know, was it really because of gambling? You know, did she really have to do all that? But isn't that a bizarre story? Like, if I was a writer and I wanted to pitch a made-for-TV movie, and I say to a director, listen, a producer, I want to do this story about this average white woman who goes on a killing spree, and she does it for gambling. No one would believe me that would be a story worth telling. But this is where we say truth is stranger than fiction. And so I'm always mesmerized by seemingly average people do these extraordinary things and commit these extraordinary
Use the left 4
crimes.
lanes to keep left onto I-294 north toward Wisconsin.
It's diabolical, it's maniacal, it's just downright evil. So that is one of the reasons why I am obsessed with crime shows. I do like to read them. And another reason why
Keep
I watch
left.
a lot of crime shows is because a lot of times,
For 35 miles, continue on I-294 north.
even though you may watch a crime show, you could still find something different. You can still find more information when you watch other shows. And so I never turn off a show when it's a case that I've seen before, because they always find something new, something different, some other information that I had not seen before in other crime shows about the same case. So that's all I got for you. I am going to be reviewing the other episode. I got my notes. I was up early in the morning because when I have somewhere to go, especially if I travel, and in this case having to go to the airport, I just did not sleep. So I've been up since 3:45. So I have my notes. I will be reviewing it. So keep on the lookout for that. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to have a wonderful day. Take care of yourself and each other, and have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday hump day. Bye.